Holy cow. Cubs got their backs to the wall now. Cubs lose 3-0 to the San Diego Padres. Game 2 of the NL Wildcard Series. They failed to punch their Greyhound ticket to Milwaukee for the NLDS. To go see those disgusting Brewers. Real quick, going through this game, the Cubs offense had started slow. No, they started to show life in the last week of the season. And he'll be getting the bats off their shoulders, and they were starting to make some hard contact, in particular, Seiya Suzuki. So if you had optimism coming into this series about what the offense and the team could do when you was finally getting Kyle Tucker back off of that, or off of a almost month-long IL stint, game 1 didn't do much to reassure you of that, right? But the Cubs still did win game 1. Without the offensive fireworks, they were able to get some timely hitting, get the appropriate power when necessary, and they were able to put them things together. But I'm not surprising anybody when I say this: the pitching held this team down for majority of the last 3 months, and that was no different in game 1. MVP of that game was, of course, the defense and the bullpen. That 4 innings and 4 2/3 inning of no-hit ball from the bullpen, that's what won that game. Today, you couldn't get that. You started the game off in the deficit, down 1 before the offense even took the field. So the offense definitely needed to step up. If you wanted to win this game, the offense had to show up. Cubs had sprinkled 4 hits in this game. 1 from Nico in the first. Dansby got 1 in the third. Seiya Suzuki had a double in the 5th inning, or 4th inning rather. And that was pretty much, and that was it. Kyle Tucker got 1 lonely hit in the 9th, but that was the extent of the Cubs offense in game 2. The Cubs did threaten to score in that 4th inning when Suzuki had that double. Carson Kelly was intentionally walked right after that. And that was exactly how, that game, how the Padres met the urgency they showed up they responded to the moment. We talked about it yesterday. In the playoffs, you need to respond to the moment and have a sense of urgency that you don't have in the first 162 games of the season. Padres, you saw it in the first inning. They got Tatis on, they got Luis Arraez on, and they made the Cubs feel them right out the gate. Double steal to get the Cubs back on their heels, and that eventually led to a run scored off a sac hit from, I think it was Jackson Merrill. They also showed it again in the 4th inning after Carson Kelly was intentionally walked. Again, talked about it yesterday. Don't lean on your starting pitchers too long. Dylan Cease had been pitching well, but right then and there, it was 3 innings and 2/3. Bring in Morjon. And Morjon did his thing. He got out that inning. In fact, he didn't give up a single hit while he was in the game today. I think he had a perfect. I'm I'm not sure how many innings he pitched, but 7 up and 7 down for Morjan of the Padres. Yeah, he ended that little scoring opportunity for the Cubs with emphatic assurity. I take nothing away from the Padres. They did what they were supposed to do. They won fairly easy. Like I just said, the intensity, they had it right out the gate. They played with urgency. They reacted. They reacted to their loss yesterday the way you should react to a loss. The Cubs were not the aggressor as they were yesterday. They play like they had a game in their pocket, and that's how you end up losing. Padres came right out, put the Cubs on their back heels, and the Cubs never defended their jaw. They looked like Canelo out there in that last fight. And that's how you want to move through. That's how you want to move through life in any aspect. You have to move like this with every at bat, and to move like that with every pitch, and you have to act like everything, the next pitch, the next at bat is the last one you're ever going to have, and the most important thing you're ever going to have in this universe. You got to have that. You got to have that same. And what's tough about it is you got to have that same intensity every single time. The Padres, they ended up scoring again this game, even though it was unnecessary insurance runs. Manny Machado had a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Again, unnecessary because the pitcher staff for the Padres is unhittable. Not to say that I think the Cubs bats were doing much. Were being aggressive. I don't necessarily think so. I think they were being a little passive. Again, playing like they had a game in their back pocket that they can lean on. Again, not how you want to address the postseason, but it is what it is. That game is down. Got to go to the next one. Also, another thing we talked about yesterday after game 1, not being afraid to move on from the starter. Just talked about how the Padres moved on from Dylan Cease. He was actually pitching well. Craig Counsell going into that 5th inning. Shota Imanaga had been okay heading to that 5th inning, but I think this is going to be the talk of the sports radio and most of the chat rooms and social media is why did Craig leave Shota in to face Manny Machado? We'll talk about that in a second. I don't think we're going to see Morjan, who had sat down 7 straight cuts. I think he's pitched 9 innings in this series so far already. I would be shocked to see him if the Cubs see him again tomorrow. But they will see Yu Darvish, a familiar face for all Cubs. He played with the Cubs for 3 seasons before they actually traded him to the Padres. But we can talk about how the Cubs' future matchup in Game 3. Do that at a later point later on in this episode. I'm going to talk about how this game went off for the Cubs pitching. Kitteridge was the opener for Shota Imanaga, and he was coming off a very good inning of work yesterday. He did give up that earned run that we spoke about there, sack fly to Jackson Merrill before he gave way to Shota. It was an easy call to have an opener for Shota. You'd like to see him have a clean inning before giving him the ball, but it is what it is. But you definitely needed that opener. Shota, everybody knows Shota. His first inning struggles of late has been well documented. I think his first inning ERA is north of 5, and his last 4 starts, he's giving up 3, 2, 1, and 2 in the first inning. Playoffs can't be doing that. Everything is too heightened right now. We needed a clean inning. 1 ain't the worst thing in the world, but again, would have preferred a goose egg. But let's talk about that 5th inning. Shota Imanaga. He, after getting the first batter out, he walked Tatis, and then Luis Arraez. I'm sorry. He bunted Tatis over to second. Now Machado's coming up. At that point, Craig's got to pull. Craig's got to pull a shot. He's got to pull. What's the use? What's the use of keeping him in there to face Machado? He's already. This is the 5th inning. He didn't see too many batters already. Get somebody else up there who can throw some heat. Throw Manny Machado off his balance. He didn't do it. I don't know why. Soroka was up. Soroka was warm enough in my opinion, but I'm not a pitching coach. I'm not a manager. So what do I know? But I do know that Manny Machado took Seiya Suzuki 400 feet and put the Cubs down 3. I know that much, but we'll second guess that to the cows come home. People are, because like I said, people are definitely going to be talking about that all on ESPN 1000, 670, and all the rest of them. It's the playoffs. We don't need to save anybody for another day because today is the most important day that you're going to have. Most important thing is winning the game that you're in. Who knows if they're ever going to? Who knows if they had got out that inning without giving up any runs, that changes the tenor of the ball game. It's a 1-run game for the most of it, and who knows what happens after that. Cubs could have scratched at 1. I mean, even though the bats were pretty bad today, they may have got 1. And if it was a tie game in the 7th, 8th inning, it's anybody's ball game. I would prefer anybody's ball game than being down 3. But like I said, it is what it is at this point. This team is only going to go so as far as what the Stars are doing right now, and this is leeway into that offense. The Cubs wouldn't have gotten this far without PCA. Damn Cal Tucker, damn Seiya Suzuki, damn the pitching. PCA, they would not have made it here without PCA. He had 31 homers. He had 30-30 season, 30 homers, 31 homers. I'm sorry, 35 stolen bases, 37 doubles, and he's a menace in center field. He's got to bring us back to October. Got to bring us back to October. An elimination game tomorrow. We need PCA to show up. If he doesn't, I don't expect to see the Cubs playing in Milwaukee come this weekend. Tucker's another one. Tucker has largely been a non-factor as the DH since he came back from his injury, strained left calf. I don't even want to talk about his impending free agency at this point, and the answer and the connecting conversation of what that means for this season. Is it a successful season or is it not? If you end up losing out on Tucker and free agency, I don't even have that conversation right now. You need him to show up tomorrow. Tomorrow is crucial. Everything else, we handle that in due time. Tomorrow's got to happen for everyone. PCA got to show up. Tucker got to show up. Seiya, keep doing your thing right now. He is hot. Keep doing it. On the pitching, I'm not even concerned with the pitching. The pitching has been stellar for the last 4 or 5 months. I have no equivocation that the pitching is going to be there, ready to perform tomorrow with everything on the line. What happens next? If you were a baseball history guy, it can go either way. Since Major League Baseball has went to this format in 2022, the team that's won Game 1, which will be the Cubs, they have won this wild card series 11 of 12 times. I did say it can go either way. The one team that did win was the 2022 Padres. So, cut it each way, right? The Cubs haven't announced who they are going to have on the bump tomorrow. But like I said, I am certain the pitching is going to show up. I have no doubt in my mind that whoever is getting the call, whoever's getting on the rubber, they're going to handle their business. We need the bats to show up. We need the bats to show up because if they don't, it's irrelevant. This team has been largely mid since the offense went on a 3-month vacation. If they don't have a revert to form of the May Cubs, of the June Cubs, the late April Cubs, I know asking for a lot at this point, but if it don't happen, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen in Milwaukee. It's now or never. But I will be back to talk about that tomorrow after the end of that game. Cubs, you need to lock in. Like I said, it's now or never. Game 3, elimination game. Do not waste this opportunity. You had a golden opportunity all season because there are no world beaters in the major leagues this season. This is an opportunity for the Cubs to do some special stuff. I don't want them to waste it. Fly to W.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.